Welcome to Rich Conversations. This is another one of our Rich Reflections session where we're going to take about 30 to 50 minutes out of our day to simply just think more intentionally about life. And I'll post questions. I don't know what they're going to be yet, but we usually start and end with the same questions every week, which is, I don't know. It's good to do. They're good questions. So we're going to start this session how we do everyone, and that is 5 minutes of breathing. So I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. And what this will do is before we start thinking and writing, it will help recenter us. Just kind of clear our mind and kind of get back to a neutral state. Ready, go. Okay. So just sit upright and breathe in and breathe out. My timer fell. Just making sure it didn't shut off. I'll be breathing here for hours. If it helps, count 1 in, 1 out, 2 in, 2 out. There it goes again. Put it in my pocket. We're just breathing. If thoughts come to mind, which they will, just let them pass. Don't put any weight on them. Just let them pass. Let them be. You can acknowledge them, but just kind of move on. Like a cloud in the sky. All right. So that was 5 minutes. How you feeling? You feel recentered? You feel good? I do. I feel good. Great, even. Phenomenal. Phenomenal is a word I've been using lately. Dynamic and phenomenal. Dynamic and phenomenal. All right, so I have a notebook that I write in every day. Now would be the time to get out your notebook, or if you're listening, or if you just want to think and just be conscious and think about these things, that's fine too. Computer and on a screen, that's whatever works. It's not about how you get there, it's that you get there and that you're taking this time. So the first question is, what are we grateful for? Always start there. You're like, what are we grateful for? And practice patience. Start there when you're trying to improve life. Gratitude and patience go a long way. But they're two things that aren't tangible. They're quite abstract and not immediate. And we have this kind of disease of instant desire today. I'm recording this at night. Long day. It's been an intense 2 weeks. Next week is going to be intense. I'm working on the revisions of my novel, The Gate of Clouds, and I have to finish it by the end of next week for editors. It's going to go on to editors, and I have about 70% of the revisions completed. But every day I have a slim window to do them, and it's in the morning. So I've been getting up at 5:30 and working on them as long as I can. So what's something recently, or it doesn't even have to be recent, but in our life where we really focused, and while it required us to exert a lot of energy, you found a lot of purpose in it, and things were very clear. Life was very clear. Every day I'm going to work on this. This is what I'm aiming to accomplish every single day, and the aggregate will add up to a certain point in the future. What was something like that for you? Yeah, today I worked on the Paris scenes, revising those. Oh, it's so much fun. They're really good. I'm energized. They're phenomenal. I'm trying to use the word good less this year. Well, not even this year, just in life. good. What is good? Good is average, I think. Average is average. But good is like worse than average. I'm energized to share the Gate of Clouds. I have no idea what the reception will be. And when I share it with the editors, it'll be the first time that it's like out of my hands. You know, it's like a child leaving home. You wish the best. You did the best you could. You put all the effort in. Actually, it's not quite like that. Because they'll go through edits, and I'll get it back and make revisions again. Then it'll be edited again, and then I'll revise again. And then it'll either be proofread or another round of editing. Then you let it out. But yeah, I'm energized to get feedback with it. I just wrote. I just wrote it, you know? It's about 78,000 words right now. When I started the revisions, it was at 69,000 words. So I've added 8,000 since. I figured it'd be around there. I figured it'd be between like 5,000 and 10,000 words that I would add. I'm already clocked in at 8,000. So maybe a little more. So it's substantial. But it's so much joy. It's so much joy, like reading it and revising it. I'm so in the moment. So I'd like you to think about a task you're doing or an activity you do or something in your life where you feel present. No, not feel present. You are present and you feel joy. Time passes. You don't even think about time. You know? You're just there doing it, immersed in it. What is something like that for you? I'm really proud of these Paris scenes, actually. First one, so he's in Paris. First scene opens up in these Paris scenes. He's outside a Parisian cafe, smoking cigarettes, drinking wine and espresso with his physicist friend, the character's physicist friend. And they're working on a physics project together. And his name is Shankar. And just talking about life, the human experience. It's like conversations I have in the book. And then it's raining later, a different scene, it's raining. And the character Raymond has to escape the rain. And he sees a sign for the Louvre. So he's like, oh yeah, I'll kill some time there. Then he was in the Mona Lisa room. And then he left the room and he sits down. And then a stranger sits next to him. And they discuss hardware versus software. And there's some sexual innuendos. And it moves on. And then later the character is in a friend's apartment. Fun scenes. Oh my God. It was so much fun today. So what's something joyful you experience? Mona Lisa. Have you ever seen Mona Lisa's smile? It's the most popular painting in the world, and she knows it. She's very self-aware. That's what people love about the Mona Lisa. That's what people are drawn to, is that like she's in on it. And it took Da Vinci 16 years. He wasn't even done. He's not even done with it. But he died before he could finish it. Da Vinci's in all my favorite artists I write about in there. Da Vinci, Warhol, Van Gogh, those three especially. The Beatles for music. Bob Dylan's in there. What other artists? Barbara Kruger is in there. No mention of the Bauhaus, which is interesting because like 4 or 5 years ago, I was really into Bauhaus stuff. My tastes have become more refined over the years. So what's something 5 years ago you were into, but now you're not? Your tastes have evolved. How have our tastes evolved in 5 years? In the last 5 years? It's a word I have trouble saying. Tastes. Hangers. Hangers. I always struggled with the G's. Skiing. Tastes. Yeah, I'm working on this series called Nuance and Notes, and I'm really into more like vintage looking, creating artwork from designs on building facades, really from like the 1870s to 1920s. That time, a beautiful era. It's like the Gilded Age and the Belle Epoque in France. Kind of around World War I, kind of stops around World War I, at least in Paris or France. It's a very inspiring time, a real hopeful time. And yeah, it's just black and white. Compared to 5 years ago, I was into all this Bauhaus and like bright colors and geometric shapes. And now I can't stand it. I was I was on a date. I was with a woman at MoMA last year, and we were walking through MoMA. She had never been there, and she brought up my art. She had seen it before, the primary colors, primary ponderings, and I was just like repulsed by my own art. I thought to myself, that was like 4 years ago? It's crazy. Such a different time. It was like right before COVID. And COVID really changed the trajectory of so many different things, it feels like. In my life, my friends' lives, society, of course, and the world. So what was your life like before COVID, and what trajectory were you on? And how has COVID shaped your life now? Yeah, I was talking to a friend the other day, last week, and I was in New York City a week before the first COVID case happened. And then I was in Paris a month before COVID happened. Late January 2020. Yeah, you wouldn't have thought that the world would change in that quick of time. How has COVID affected how you view time? Yeah, what is that? We're like five years since COVID. That's something else. Again, it feels like yesterday, but it also feels like 50 years ago. And it's really skewed, at least personally, my sense of time. You know, it feels like something happened a week ago, and it also feels like something happened 10 years ago. And I didn't ever think about time in that warped sense before COVID. And now it's hard to think about how I perceived time before that, or like life and where your mind was at. It's interesting. That trip to New York was phenomenal. Week before the first COVID case. Oh, man. I went to a friend's show in the Lower East Side, and we were dancing. We went out afterwards, celebrating. Earlier that day, I was at the Guggenheim Museum, and I was getting chased by a Joseph Stalin robot. It was hilarious. The Guggenheim is a good, like, thinky museum, like futuristic and stuff. And it had this exhibit that was exploring the connection and relationship with ruralness It was used in Germany as an example, like pre-World War II, I believe. No, I think that was just a separate part of the exhibit. It was taking like ruralness in general and our connection to it, and as someone who's come from a rural background, and I live in a rural background now, or space area. It's really interesting because living in cities for the last 15 years, people take the countryside for granted, the country, and they have all these skewed opinions of it, perspectives of it. Man, that was so much fun. Oh, pre-COVID times. And I think I spend more time by myself since COVID. So let's, this is like a COVID reflection. How has our social life changed since COVID? Do we feel it's healthier, unhealthier, or about the same? It's like a doctor's appointment. Healthier, unhealthier, or about the same? No, eye doctor. That's what they test you on. Is this better? Is it worse? About the same. Then they flash to the next question or next lens. Five years. That's a good chunk of time to justify reflection, I would say. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting new glasses. I have an idea. My prescription is from 2015. I was in a near-death accident on the farm. I was running a tractor and an oil line blew. And so flames shot out at the cab. Started engulfing the cab. And there's a tree line up ahead. So I shift to neutral. And by the time I look up, it's like the fire's there. So my like heart drops. And I just think, jump. So I jump. And I was wearing sunglasses at the time. And my glasses were in my like lunchbox. And they were black ones. They were black. They were these, but black. And I got a new prescription. That was in 2018. And I got the exact same pair again, but like updated prescription lenses. Whereas these are the same ones, but they're brown. This is 2015. So it's 10 years old. I find myself on the computer, like I have to like zoom in. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or it's a 10-year-old prescription. I don't know. it's likely both. But yeah, I found myself, I'm gonna like increase the zoom. I look at people's glasses now because I'm thinking about investing in an upgrade. So what's something we're noticing on other people recently? Like what's on our mind that we're consciously, well, maybe we're subconsciously paying attention to other people, what they're wearing. Maybe it's, shoes. Maybe it's clothing, backpack. I guess we're thinking style right now. Yeah, it's like once you're thinking about something, then that's all you kind of see. Say if someone's car shopping, right? Then all of a sudden they start seeing what they've been looking for. Say a GMC Sierra truck. So you're interested in that. Now all of a sudden when you're out and about, you just see all these GMC Sierra trucks. Or like if you get a car, Toyota Camry, now all of a sudden you see all these Toyota Camrys out there. Yeah, Americans have an obsession with cars. You just turn on the TV and you're likely going to see a car commercial. They always crack me up too. How they portray, because it's not about the car. It's about everything associated with driving that car. It's like status and signaling. It's signaling, right? You got your hip urban vibe. Oh, we're pulling up. It's late at night. Oh, our friends are getting in. Everything is all chic. Everybody's like good looking. Then you have the opposite of like, we're out in the wilderness, we're in the mountains, we're driving over all these rocks and dirt hills, and dude, no one does that. The people with the big trucks, those fancy trucks, they don't use them. Status. They should make like parody car commercials. People are in traffic jams. You show the real, like, this is what it's like. Jeep drivers. I have this thing about Jeep drivers. I used to be an Uber driver for 3 years, from 2014 to 2017. And Jeep drivers were the most reckless drivers. And I think it's because of how the vehicles are portrayed in commercials and just like the association of like adventure and ruggedness and like outdoorsy, adrenaline seeking sort of. And so that's how people drive those Jeep vehicles. Or they park their cars. This is, again, going back to, like, seeing things and paying attention to things. Oftentimes in the city, when I'm parallel parked, I come back and then there'll be a vehicle just like right up against the bumper. And I would say like 6 times out of 10, it'd be a Jeep vehicle. I have friends that drive Jeeps. I'm not against people who drive Jeeps. I'm just saying there's a certain psychology and mentality with it. So the vehicle we drive, what is that saying about us personally? So think about if you have a car, if you don't have a car, what does that say about you? I personally don't own a vehicle. And I have pride in that. I borrow other people's vehicles. I'm lended vehicles shared with me. And I'm grateful for that. But planting my flag as long as I can on that hill, it's so much less on your mind. It's incredible. Because I lived in Chicago for a very long time. And Chicago, you don't need a car, but it is a luxury. It is like nice. But it's also nice not having it on your mind. All the things you got to think about, the maintenance and all the costs and registration and parking and fuel and planning. It's kind of a burden on the mind. Yeah, there's definitely a thing like with cars and vehicles and models and there's so much involved with that. Those parody commercials, they should say exactly who drives these cars. Maybe Saturday Night Live did something like that already. I don't know. But we're going to wrap this up. And we're going to close out on the question that we always ask. And that's what are we energized in the upcoming week? What are we energized for within the next upcoming week? I think it's good to have something to look forward to. Helps us kind of focus and kind of builds like this gravitational force of momentum that carries us there. It's like an anchor point in a way. Yeah, I want to thank you for being here. Appreciate it. I love that you're taking time out of your day to simply think more about your own life so that you can be clearer, right? Gain clarity so that moving forward, kind of the direction you want to go in, and the steps to get there become a little bit more clear too. And you can take action. And also be able to approach life with a little bit more intention. In everything we do, we want to see what is happening and react to it. Not just not thinking and then just go and do things. Do things in not a positive or negative thing, but just like, what is it? Once you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. But yeah, we want to be precise with the moves we make so that we're efficient with how we exert energy. And all these small steps, all these small actions, they don't seem like big things at the time. And we might kind of overlook them at times, maybe be lazy at times, but I can assure you they add up, they accumulate, and it's just wild. You'll be in a different stratosphere at a point in the future. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Inspire the future.